marriage equality right now is it's a very polarized issue in California, and right now we don't win.
And you need Bakersfield, Fresno, Modesto. You need those votes.
I feel like people are trying hard to figure out how to pick up the pieces from Prop 8 and move forward in a constructive way, and I feel great being part of that.
The struggle that we have needs to be focused, and I think that this will help us focus on a strategy and an approach and an intent towards winning the election next time it comes around.
I'm thrilled and excited to be married, and I think everybody who wants to make that commitment should be able to make it.
The event here is the Out West Campaign Boot Camp. And what we're doing is really investing in the grassroots. And what we noticed is after Proposition 8, you have all these great groups with a lot of energy who are looking to be very involved in the next campaign to restore equality here in California. And a lot of people just don't understand how campaigns work and what it actually takes to win. So this weekend is all about teaching groups kind of the basics of how you look at a campaign strategically. Looking at polls, looking at finances, looking at putting together field operations, how to communicate with people in effective manners, build coalitions, so that we can win here in California and restore equality to the state.
I hope that this weekend will bring together a lot of people who have already kind of been active in the grassroots, further into the campaign arm of what it will take to repeal Proposition 8 down the line. So before we've had some kinds of divisions between the people who are in the grassroots and the people who are in the campaign arm. And so hopefully in this next kind of phase we'll be able to bring those two arms together to work as a pretty strong lever to repeal Prop 8.
I'm glad to be able to provide both of those to you. So folks, without further ado, welcome to Win Your Election. We're about to start. Enjoy your 15 minutes, and I'll keep track and let you know when it's time for you to turn in your first two strategic choices.
Round one seems really
pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, and obvious. But maybe we should use the 15 minutes to round one and maybe get to that too.
Yeah, so that first.
Yeah, that would be.
But you have a little bit of wiggle room first.
Please turn in your choices. We're now in round 3. It is April. I could tell you that I thought the questions you were asking. What's your name?
Jaden.
Jaden. Jaden. I thought those were right on the right track.
Early money is like yeast, it rises.
You don't just keep doing fundraising, that's not that mechanical.
That's the endorsements, what do we think?
It's now round 4.
We have quantity or multiracial teams?
Well, you're actually doing pretty well. You're almost halfway there in fewer than half the rounds.
Yeah, but the last one we got killed.
This was a key error of the Prop 8 campaign. Yeah, was to hire a consultant to do the racial versus having volunteers and multiracial going into these events.
How about media with general terms in this round? We need to start doing major media.
We need major media now.
It's now September and round 8. We have an announcement. The anti-gay side has just become highly visible. Their TV and radio ads say that unless voters vote yes, children will be taught about homosexual marriage in schools. The ads feature a young child and a Latina mother.
So we never did any public rallies.
And her point being, remember, you need to hit people again because they may have changed their minds. You got to be out there.
I mean, maybe what you have to do is just get multi-racial volunteers and fundraise the entire time until you get to the end, and then do 2 ads.
Make your final choices. Turn them in. The score is not nearly as important as what are the lessons here that you want to make sure we're thinking about in the next real-world campaign we're all going to be facing together. Because we'll all be on the same team next time.
Team 1 came in with 100.
We should all apply for jobs. Hire us. Wait a minute. Let's do it. I'll make paid for this.
Though there are commonalities between every civil rights movement, there are also unique characteristics of each movement. And to simply model the The movement of civil rights today for LGBT people, after the model of the civil rights movement that was predominantly led by African Americans through the 50s to the 70s, we have found that was a grave mistake. My disappointment was how quickly many black folks sided with the Mormon church, who was sexist, not only racist, but sexist. Well, they're not racist anymore because they got the divine doctrine that black folks can run down a football field and get them money. Because you know, up until 30 years ago, they had this doctrine that black folks have to stay in a cave and would not go into Mormon heaven. But when, you know, NCAA came and said you can't participate in these bowl games with that doctrine, they had divine revelation. When people are struggling just to get by, marriage equality is not a priority. However, my response is that justice is a priority. And that African Americans who have a legacy of fighting against injustices, if we're to follow the mandate of Dr. King that said injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, then we must speak out. And so I speak out on behalf of justice for all people, and especially the LGBT community, who is now facing this horrible discrimination when it comes to equality and justice. And so please be assured that I will not back down, and I will continue to stand with you until this becomes reality. And I just know that it's the right thing to do. And so that's why I'm here.
I think one of the challenges with the civil rights community embracing the LGBT issues as a civil rights issue is that it's so personal, because we're talking about sexuality, we're talking about religious convictions, and when you get into that, it's not as easy to frame and talk about as, say, the racial issue, which is interesting to me.
Out West has done an extraordinary job of pulling together an amazing faculty and an incredible diversity of opinions and of viewpoints and of the kind of people that we're going to need to win marriage equality.
Arguments that work here in Los Angeles County don't necessarily work in like Siskiyou County in Northern California.
We all have the power to make this campaign successful. You got power, you got power, you got power, and you got power.
What we want to do is like learn from the errors that we made and like not make them again, which is why we're starting early and creating a natural base, which is people like yourselves.
I'm so honored that I was contacted by Out West Coalition to tell me that they were using Campaign Boot Camp as part of an effort to help people be part of a movement larger than themselves to promote equality. I think it's fabulous.
The most important thing, if we take only one lesson from this entire weekend, is to identify you are here to do something. Each and every one of you has a call to service that somewhere in it includes the fight for equality. Regardless of how you feel about 2012 or 2010 and the tactics of that, which I'll leave to you to figure out, right now let's talk about 2009. Let's talk about the Supreme Court taking up those oral arguments and you going on the radio, you going on TV, you going on the blogs, you sending out your messages to people. What do you feel about that lawsuit? How do you think that's going to have an effect on people? And we're going to have to go to work against stereotypes. We're going to have to go to work against the conventional wisdom. We're going to have to go to work against the mainstream media. We're going to go to work against a very tightly organized opposition that has already won and is galvanized by its success. That ultimately is the goal of full equality, right? That we can each be who we are, married or not, have children or not, and pursue our own fullest human potential. But we're not going to do that unless each of us get out of that bubble, get out of that comfort zone, and reach out. And I can't wait to read all of your entries online.